Hello, welcome to Law Excellence. I am Harsha Mannava and I teach anthropology at Law Excellence. As you are aware by now, the prelim schedule is out and it has been planned for 4 months from now, and it's about October 4th. So this has caused some disruption in the students' examination studying plans. So here we'll discuss how do we address this issue. Before we get into all those details, they can come a little later. Let me tell you a small story. There was a man called Manji. He was a Dalit man living in some rural Jharkhand. He is a laborer. He loved his wife a lot. But unfortunately, his village was surrounded by a big hill. So, for the people to leave the village out for work or anything, they had to get on this hill, cross it and go. There was no road. And they lived like that for a long time now. Even Manji, his family lived like that. His wife was pregnant one day and she was trying to get food to Manji because he was working on the other side. And when she was trying to cross the hill, she could not. And she slipped and she died. Was mortally wounded. Now Manji really loved his wife. He was very disturbed. He was very angry at that hill which caused death to his wife. So he resolved at that time, I will break this hill down and I will create a road to my village. I will not depend on the government. I will not depend on some donors. I will do it myself. He took some basic tools he had, a chisel and a hammer, and started his work. Everybody laughed at him. Is this man crazy? He wants to break a hill, and that too with a chisel and a hammer. Manji faced a lot of criticism. He became the butt of jokes of many people. He refused to listen to any of them. He just continued like a rebel, adamant. Went on for a year, two, a decade, so on. It took him about a few decades, but he finally accomplished his goal single-handedly. He cut open the hill and created a path across the small hillock to his village, and all his villagers now are grateful to him. So much so, he has become the national hero. The prime ministers have spoken about him, given him Padma Shris. So that's the story of a man, Manji, one uneducated, low caste person, and that displayed the spirit with which he defied all odds to achieve his goal. So what do we learn from this story? That human character is of utmost importance, and commitment to what you achieve, regardless of your external environment, is what finally takes us to where we want to go. That separates the victors from others, that separates those who want to make a mark from those who just want to go about life easily. So how does that help us? We don't have a task as difficult as the Manji, of course, but we are in a similar situation, not so complex, but yet some kind of a fix. That is, we have been used to studying for prelims now. Most of you had studied for prelims for a good 2 to 3 months, and thanks to COVID, most of us have been locked at home, not knowing when the exam will happen, how to go about it, so confused. Some of us have lost habit of studying, and we were in a state of chaos, not knowing how to go about studying. But now there is some clarity. Good. Prelims is on October 4th. We almost have 4 months. But that calls for some change of strategy, isn't it? Right now, many candidates are trying to shift towards optional. I'm getting this calls and messages from students. So we are planning to move to optional, and we need help with anthropology. Please help us. Of course, it's not like you're the only people who are impacted by this pandemic. Think of the plight of athletes who are preparing for Olympics. They had trained for years for that 1 month of Olympic Games, just for those few minutes they get at the Olympic Games. But the games have been postponed to next year, and the Japanese are still non-committal about whether they will actually have Olympics even next year. So think of them, but what does an athlete do? A really ambitious, a really energetic athlete, regardless of when the Olympics will happen, he will just continue to practice, because even before he won a medal, he would have practiced. A good athlete continues to practice even after he wins the medal. I think the medal only just is an external token of appreciation, but he still continues. So he would think, fine, I would have practiced anyway, so he would continue to practice. The Olympics may happen next year or the year after that. The fact that I have to practice does not change because of the Olympics has postponed, doesn't change any of my way of life, because they look at their practice and training as a way of life. Their sport is their way of life. That's the attitude we need right now. Do not take all these external disturbances impact you. This exam and this studying is a way of life for you until you reach your goal, and maybe even after you reach your goal, because as a public servant you must stay in touch with things that are happening around you. So all this is is like a training for actually what you must do. So your life will not really change. So just stick to the fact that there is an exam I have to crack. It may happen in October, it may happen even after that. Whenever it happens, my job is to keep studying. I will do it, I will enjoy the process, I will learn and grow. And writing the exam is just a way of showing my knowledge and getting this external accomplishment, external recognition that I have been also wanting. That's all. If you approach this whole issue in that fashion, you will not be shaken up by all these events, isn't it? So be calm and just respond like a Buddhist monk to the changes. The exam has changed, fine. So what? You have 4 months now. You break this 4 months into 2 parts. 2 to 2.5 months for optional, a good 1.5 to other half a month to prelims. That's how I think you must break it, and that's how most students are doing. They are now planning to shift gears towards optional, at least for some part of the day. And I know most of you haven't touched optional books for a good period of time now. Since you haven't touched, I know that most of you must be feeling a little out of order, out of place. Your optional books, anthropology books are gathering dust, they are biting dust. You have lost track of the syllabus, you have lost momentum in studying anthro. I know you want to study optional, but you're struggling to make a start. You're struggling to write some answers and see where you stand. So we are here to help you on that. We may not help you with attitude. Attitude is what you must develop. The attitude of a fighter, that is, I will keep doing this regardless of when the exam happens. I will keep studying and I will write whenever they conduct the exam. That's the attitude you need, and that you must develop. But we are here to help you work on your attitude and get your results. So I am here to help you come out of your inertia, your resistance, to clean those dust of the anthropology books and get into form, to just get into the groove and start rolling. I am sure once you get into the groove, you will start rolling. It's like a train. It's difficult to get a train onto the rails, but once the wagon is onto the rails, rolling it is very simple. So I am here to give you that lift to come onto the track. Once you are on track, you will roll. You will only need some push, a little push, that's all. We are going to achieve that through an anthropology crash course, a very brief answer writing course. We are calling it Anthropology Through Questions. That's a program we are going to launch from 15th June, that is coming Monday. Coming Monday, we will launch a program wherein we are going to address this whole issue of preparing for anthropology through Anthropology Through Questions. So the program's name is Anthropology Through Questions, and this is about a 7-week program, 6 weeks of reading, and the last week will be of tests. Of course, you will also have weekly tests, but the last week will be of revision of everything, and we will have 2 grand tests. So this is the scheme of the program. It will be for 6 weeks of some kind of classes. So we broke the syllabus into 6 parts for 6 weeks. Each week we will have 3 classes of 2 to 2.5 hours. 3 classes on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Between alternate days we will have class, and on the day on which you don't have a class, you are expected to prepare for the next day. So on Saturday, you must prepare for Monday's class. On Tuesday, you must prepare for Wednesday's class. On Thursday, you must come prepare for Friday's class. And the syllabus which we are going to cover in each class is also going to be given to you. All these details will be attached to the video, or you will get it through Telegram or on email. Don't worry, we will give you a flyer that has all this information. So basically, the syllabus is going to be broken into 6 parts and into 6 weeks, 6 parts, and each week we will have 3 classes on every alternate day. That's the scheme of the program. And every Sunday there will be a test on the portion that we covered that particular week. So this way, and each class what will we do? We give you syllabus for Monday, there is a set of syllabus. And on Monday, we will discuss the syllabus not like in a regular course. In the course, you would have already had experience, right? We discussed many things. But in this program, we will take up all the previous year questions and see how to write answers. In fact, if some of you write answers and come already, it is brilliant. Even if you don't write, we will see how to write answers. We will see what makes a good answer, what is the writing style, what is the writing approach, what must be there, basics, what must be there. And on top of basics, how do we build on it? How do we add value addition? How do we catch the examiner's attention? Through schematics, diagrams. And what techniques make us stand apart from others? So all these presentation, softer and harder aspects of writing will also be emphasized. So through this answer writing program or anthropology through questions, we will try to get you to revise your syllabus at least once thoroughly. We will get you to do some writing and clarify any doubts that you have, and on top of it we will also give you some value addition, so that these 2 months would not have gone waste. So because the game changes, the people who finally win are those who make opportunity out of every crisis. Those are the kind of people who succeed in this exam. This exam probably is less a test of intelligence than it is a test of resilience and patience. So you need patience, you need resilience to stand by and win in this game. That is the nature of this exam. This is unlike other exams. It's very less of a test of an IQ, but it is more of a test of your patience levels and your resilience. And it tests your character to adapt to situations. It tests your ability to turn a crisis into opportunity. And right now, this is a crisis that is waiting for you to change into opportunity. And we are here to help you make that transition. So our role is to help you turn this crisis into a very well developed opportunity. And how are we planning to do that? As we discussed, we are going to come to you from this Monday, 15th June, with an anthropology program wherein we will try to cover the entire syllabus through a set of questions and also try to give you some kind of writing program and regular tests and feedback. That is what we are planning. So please stay tuned, and I am looking forward to seeing you join this program. I'm looking forward to helping you make the best out of this opportunity and get back to writing more of writing soon after prelims. So if you have done this 6 week or 7 weeks of thorough revision, thorough reading of anthropology, once the main prelims is over, this time unfortunately you only have 3 months between prelims and mains. I think you have something like 90 days. Usually you have close to 115 days. So the time that you are losing between prelims and mains, you must make up now. If you relax and slack out now, then you will be racing against the clock after your prelims, because the prelims result itself takes a good 50 days, and once the result comes, you are left with hardly 30-35 days to write the mains. So the time span between prelims and mains has been cut short, which means you must make up for the time lost right now. If you redo your optional thoroughly in the next 6 to 7 weeks, then after prelims it will be just very easy to take the baton and continue. It'll take you a few days to get back into the groove, and you can now directly go to writing tests and adding value addition to run towards mains. But if you don't do any of that now, and if you must start your optional after pre, that is going to be very stressful, because you must have stopped studying your optional sometime in February, right? And if you have to open it again in October, that's like a good 8 months of lapse, and you will be racing against the clock with just 3 months before you. So that's going to be a very difficult position, and I don't want any of you to be there. It's a very unenviable position to be in, and I think the slogan "prevention is better than cure" typifies the situation. So let us not get there. So let us take our optional books and dust them out and work on them for the next 6 to 7 weeks, so that we can continue and build on this work soon after our prelims. That way we will have a competitive edge. I'll finally conclude with what Einstein had said very famously. He said, life is like a bicycle with ups and downs. Those who get the best out of life are those who are willing to roll with the life's ups and downs and make the most out of both ups as well as downs. So let us take this as a bicycle ride and enjoy it. Looking forward to seeing all of you on the course. Goodbye and all the best.